Okay. So now, guys, this section you will use the. We already done this one on different file, so you will have to do it on your own. And now on the hand, just only this part that you need to do. And these are basically, you could create another controller to control this and that. So we learn how to do this part on different file. Now, I would suggest you to practice by do it again. Don't need to. For some people who don't want to do it, you still can by import whatever we had done it on last two sections. So this part, just import it, but make sure you delete all the object in here so that they don't overlap each other. But I encourage you to redo it again so that you know, remember how to do it. Okay. So now we're gonna start off from this part first. So because it's easy one. And now we absolutely need a controller. At this point, I set up these initial pose. The reason that I do that because so that I can figure it out how far the stretching, the open mechanism can be used, how long it should be on these arms. That's why I make it open. So when you do on your own, you can start it when closed, and that's fine. So now we're gonna animate this flap and close it. And then these two objects will control by IK handle. We'll follow it and fold the arm. So basically, so I'm gonna undo. Okay. So first of all, we need a controller. I'm gonna use one of these controller that I have on my shelf. If you don't have it, it's inside class folder. And I'm gonna rotate it down so it will be -90 on y-axis. And now, if you look at on-site view, I'm gonna reposition a little closer, maybe scale down a little bit, dolly in. So basically, if you look at on my top view, when we create, the center is right on the workspace already. So on the side view, what I need is, I just need to line them up, matching with the center level of the hatch edge. So I'm gonna hold V key, but do not grab the center of it. You can grab 2D view or 2 dimension, Z and Y. That because we perpendicular to only this plane, only X plane. So we don't move the X. Look like this. Okay. So now, I did go to that direction. That's wrong. So, and then you have to go to front view to move it, so that they are on the center of the hatch. It can be on the side. It doesn't matter actually, but just try to make it look a little more organized in terms of appearing. I'll give you a few minutes. And if you look at on my monitor or on the projector, you will see this is the location from the top view, from the front, and perspective view look like this. On the side view, look like this. Make sure you save your scene as into a different version so that we can, if we need to, we can go back to get the previous version. Should look like this. Now, if you're ready, you can rename them. Just name that a bottom hatch control or something like that. I'm gonna put a curiosity and BM bottom hatch. Just short name. CTL. And then you have to freeze transformation as usual. Freeze it. And then you're gonna parent the bottom hatch. I should name bottom because we have top two, right? BM. And put the bottom hatch mesh as a child of the controller. Press P. Select the child first, and then now when you grab the controller, we'll control the hatch. And where these would go though, oh guys, I have three pieces of here. It's a hatch cylinder. You're gonna just have to put that inside the, not the controller because we don't want to rotate it. Put it under body object. Right, these three objects. Put them under body object. Just press P. Those three cylinder will be a child, will be children of the body object. So can you try select the body? You will see that those three cylinder under to the hatch is connected to. Now the controller itself, the bottom hatch control, need to be a child of the body also. Just select and press P. The body control, the hatch control to the body, because you want to follow the body. And you can test if you grab the down control, the body should be selected, including the hatch. So you can push it down and luckily I align the hatch open when the body down, so the hatch has what do you call, touch the ground. Okay, so now we're gonna put the down, up, go back to the original pose. Now we're gonna create a body main control. So you can use any object, any controller you like. I'm gonna use this guy and move it a little above. Doesn't matter how high it is, as long as it's easy to select for you. So this will be a main control. I'm gonna scale them down a little bit. I don't want it to be too big. And I'm gonna call a curiosity main control, CTL. So these will control the everything. We'll go with this guy. Save your file just in case. Now we got a freeze transformation on the main control. Window modify, freeze it. Has to be nice and clean. And what we need is, we need the body down to be a child of that controller, the move control. So just shift select the main control and press P. So now if you grab the main body of the main control, you should be able to move the down control and everything go with it. Except we are not parenting the shock yet. We will. So see the shock left behind. Okay. So now we need to parent the shock base to shock base. Okay. The shock base need to be a child of body main control, not the down body, because we want them to stay, but move with body but stay, so that we can push it down, right? So select the shock base, shift select the main control, press P. Now test push down. It should work. Now one more thing. If you grab the main control, go ahead, grab it and move. Oops, spring are left out. Those springs. So now we need to make the spring follow the base spring mesh. That's all. So select the spring and then shift select the base mesh, base spring mesh. Press P. And make sure when you do on your own, do the other side too, you have to freeze transform before you started to raking, okay? Otherwise, it's going to keep carry the volumes of the parent. So now test, push it down, see the spring still work. And then grab the main control and move it. See everything follow. Spring bar, spring base mesh, and the cap should go with it. Because the cap we parenting to a body mesh, but the spring and the spring base mesh we parented to the body, so that it keeps staying, and then we can push the cap down. Yes.
So the spring is parented to the
spring base.
spring located in.
Yes. That bar.
Okay.
This bar.
The
Yeah.
bar.
Okay, save your file. Now when you move the whole body, there's something left out on the bottom. These open bottom hatch system. So we're gonna work on this. All right. First thing we need, these things are static. Can you see this section? Static. And I did not rename them. This is not a good idea. Let's name them. So this part will be just left. Curiosity bottom hash match. You can say bar 01 mesh. Just make up the name. And then the second part, just name 2. Here we go. And this, all of this, let's name them all together at once. Can you just select all of them at once, like this, like what I'm selecting? And then just use a numeric field input right here. Change it to rename, so that we can rename them at once. So I'm gonna just put a bar mesh. Oh, it will assign 1 to the mesh. It's okay, still okay. Just just say bar mash, and then when you execute it, it will add number on for the last number at the end. So we're going to do the same with this side. Select them all, just rename them at once. Select them all like this. Control Shift Select. There we go. All of these, and just name. This one will be our side. So left and right, basically. That's it. You just rename them. So basically, you just rename them. That's all.
I'm sorry.
Okay. But we are not parenting to anything yet, okay? Don't parent anything yet. Not done yet. Okay. So first thing we need though, we need this object. Can you see this 4 object? Not the bar, because these are static. Can be a child of the body object. Just put to be a child of the body object. The body mesh, not the controller, just body mesh. So that it follow with the mesh. And this part, can you see right here? 2 on this side and another 2 on that side. This will be a child of the hatch itself. Because we want to follow the hatch, and the hatch will follow the body anyway because of the main control. So we separate them. So just press P to parent it, and test, just rotate the hatch, the bottom hatch. See, those 4 objects should follow. Those knots should look like that. Okay. And when we move the main control, everything will go with it. Can you see? Except those bars, of course, because we haven't done anything on that yet. So, and do you understand why we parented into, why these 4 object parented to the body, but why the other 4 object parented to here? Do you guys understand? Because we wanted to be able to make that act like this. Follow the hatch object. But these are more like a grandchildren of the main body mesh. We don't want to be a children, we want it to be a grandchildren somewhere. So now we're going to set up the joint to create IK handle. So go to the side view, because side view will be the way you can see it, and switch the module to rigging module, and then go to skeleton, create joins, open up option. I'm going to reset the tool. So on the option, just remember for this semester, this is the setting that we always going to use for the joint setting. Turn off variable bone radius setting, but turn on orange joint to world space. This is going to be the setting that you use for this semester. It's just easier to rig it. And then I'm going to close. So the root will have to be on the top. And then go ahead, keep clicking 3 times. The joint size will be a little bit big at the moment. Don't worry. Press enter to execute it. Will look like that. Okay. Now, use outliner to select all the joint. And go ahead, rename. Just add this one we're going to call left curial. I'm going to just put CUR, and we're going to add a what is it, hatch, right? Bottom hatch. So MB hatch JNT. Join, that's it. Yeah.
Can you go over making the bones again?
Skeleton, create joins, open up option, and this is the setting. So after you rename it, change the size. Shift select all three on the outliner. Radius, just put 0.05, really small. And now let's duplicate this so that we don't have to create it again. But before you duplicate it, reposition it. So this will be on the left side, which is this one, positive X left. And you might need to go to font view, align them kind of appropriate location. I'm going to put around the center. And then Control D to duplicate it, and then just move to the right side. Now we're gonna replace the name, rename a little bit. Zoom in a little bit. So to replace the name, we want exactly the same name except for L to R. So this is what you need to do, guys. Go to Modify. Make sure you select the root of the one that the duplicate one. And then under search and replace name, under modify. And this is what I type in, search for L underscore, replace it to R underscore. In the search replace option is allow you to search like any inside the alphabet too, like in that name list. I can put search underscore B, change to underscore C if I want to. I can do that too. Click replace. Now you got two different names set. One is L, one is R. So what you want to do next is we're going to create IK handle, but before we create IK handle, we have to figure it out how we're going to fold it. So I look at on side view. If I fold this way, that might interfere with this object right there. But I need to fold it outside. Go that way on the right side, which is negative Z. So now because we create almost straight line, actually they are not, they are a little angular. I could see it. It will fold correctly, but just in case, so we're gonna do it manually. So select the left side first, select the second joint on the left, okay, and on the side view, rotate like this. Here we go, because we wanted to fold it on that direction, on this direction, the positive X, Z. And it said this is local space, so local space is set on X, but on the workspace is on Z. Oh no, no. Rotate, I mean the direction, it looks like it's on Z direction, but the rotate, on the original rotate is rotate Z, X, sorry, man. So now you need to go to skeleton and set preferred angle. So set preferred angle. Here we go.
So we need to rotate it and then set preferred angle?
Yes. And then rotate it back. Put 0 on it. Now, let me undo one more time. If you use this, I just found out, if you use assume preferred angle, will snap back for you. Oh no, it does not. Okay, never mind. Last section is snap back. So set preferred angle and then put 0 back. We don't want to change the shape. We just want to tell Maya that, okay, that's the preferred angle to fold. So now you go to, you can deselect now, go to skeleton, IK handle, open up option. We do not use rotate plane. We're going to use single chains, turn on sticky, that's all we need. Click the root joint. First click on the root joint, last click is on the end joint. And now, can you test grab the IK handle? Now it's fold correctly. This is what we want. If yours does not fold correctly, delete the IK handle, reset the preferred angle, and do it again. Okay. So now, we're going to put the object. I'm going to maximize. So these two bars will be a child of the base joint. Just parent it to.
Can you redo the IK handle real quick?
Yep. Okay, I delete IK handle. So go to skeleton, IK handle, open up option. This is the setting, single chains, solver, turn on sticky, and then you can close. Click the root joint first, which is on the top, and then in at the end of the joint. And now turn on move to, prepare to undo, and test rotate. No, slide it out. Can you see now the joint fold correctly? Then when you're done, just select on the geometry, parent it to the appropriate joint. So the top, those two bars, top there, will be a child of the root joint. And then this bar and the bolt will be a child of the middle joint. Press P. Now when you grab the IK handle again, move it up, they will follow there. Okay. I'll give you a few minutes save, and then we're gonna have to put into the correct hierarchy. So now we need to make sure that these bars are follow the body. So let's do this. Select the main control and test move. So when I move forward, well, the joint left out, right? So I'm gonna move it back. Now what you need to do is really easy. You select the joint because the root joint are a higher hierarchy on everything of it. On every single object on the bars. You're gonna parent that to the body, or you can parent this to here. The second bolt on the hatch bolt right there. You can parent it to there. If you parent it to there, it will be right in here. Oh no, will be in, let me expand. Right here, body, right there. So these might create too much sub-level on the body mesh, right? So I would suggest you to just parallel the base joint, the root joint to the body mesh itself. Press P. Now when you look at on the body mesh, let me collapse this. Can you see? Body mesh down right here is inside there, joint hatch. So it means this side of the joint will be doing the same way, will be a shout of the body mesh. So this joint will be that too. So why don't we do that later? Let's finish this first. Now, if I move the body main control, this is how it looks. It will look like this. Can you see? We'll stretch that. Here we go. So it will look like this. So we need to make sure that the IK handle must follow the body also. However, if you parent, just watch it. If I parent the IK handle to the body, let me try, press P. Now, when I move, it looks okay, right? But when I rotate the hatch, it doesn't do anything. Because it's exactly same hierarchy as these controllers. What we need is, let me move it back. We need a IK handle to be a child of the hatch controller. That's all. So now, this is not really clean braking if we parent them directly to the surface, because you have to remember that IK handle, you cannot freeze them. If you need to do, let's say, do manual moving later, you will not be able to bring it back to this position because of these volumes, unless you write it down. So I suggest you to group it. So what you can do is, let's unparent them first. Shift P, make the IK handle go outside, and let's name appropriate name. So let me select the bone because I want to use that copy, and then select IK handle. We're gonna call nut joint LH IK, so that we know it's based on that. And then we're gonna copy that name, we're gonna group it. After you copy, select the IK handle, Control G, rename as a IK group. Okay, that's all. Now we have to change pivot point. Just press D key with move to D key, and then you kind of try to snap. I'm gonna hold V key with middle mouse button. Hey guys, the technique, you can hold middle mouse button will move the center of the tripod without seeing it. So a little trick. And then I can hold V key with middle mouse button, but you need to turn on move to and then press D. And then can you watch? See, I move it outside of the screen, so it means I drag somewhere else. I press V key, turn on hold V key, and hold middle mouse button and then move. It's a little trick. And then try to snap to the center. Might be a little hard because V key also snap to vertex, not just only IK handle, not just only the joint. So you might have to take a little time. Here we go. And then press D to release it. Now you're gonna parent the group node to a hatch control. Press P. Here we go. Now test. When I rotate the hatch, can you see? It looked like it was supposed to. There we go. So you're gonna do this on the other side by yourself. Okay.
So what if it's not like bending up all the way and it's clipping through the hatch?
So it means you are in the wrong folding direction. You look at my screen. See, it fold like this, not inside.
Oh.
Yeah. So you have to reset, delete IK handle and reset your preferred angle. I'll give you a few minutes. Yeah.
Can you show me the hierarchy again?
The hierarchy, the group node. Let me select the IK handle quick.
I have the IK handles in their own little groups.
Yeah.
But like, where are they supposed to
Look.
be?
The shout of the hatch control. Right here. because you want to be able to manipulate the hatch, and then the IK follow with the hatch.
Okay.
So test, grab your hatch control, rotate, see if it's correct.
All right.
Okay, so now can you test, move the main control, see if those are followed. And then test rotation of the hatch. Should look like that. And then test push body. If the springer work correctly. So this means good. Now you can zero it out. Grab that, zero it, and then zero it. This is why we need to freeze transformation before we break it, so that it can go to, we can reset the initial position quickly. Now, we need to limit the hatch. So, select the rotate control, the hatch rotate, hatch control. Go ahead and rotate a little until it's close. Now eyeballing it. We want the line to be kind of straight. So now when I rotate, mine is a 39.941. I could see it's a little dipped in, right? Can you see? So we can reduce that. Let's see, 39.9. See what it is. Still, because when you look at from the left to the right, the left are really close to the line of the body, but on the right side, I mean on the back side is not. So this probably has to be 0.8, 39.8. Oh no, will be 39.7. Yes. Okay. So now we're going to limit the hat control rotation. We're going to limit it. So go to attribute editor. Can you see this is the volumes, the line are straight, perfect. So go to attribute editor, click on the transform node of the bottom hatch control. Open up limit information and look for rotation. Can you see this is a positive volumes? So we'll put it to maximum, assign it positive. Now what about negative volumes? Should be 0, right? Because of this. When you rotate it down, if I type it in, 0, see that's the original post we wanted. We want 0, so it means these need to be set to 0 on minimum, because minimum is negative and maximum is positive. So now when we limit all the other, we're gonna lock them later after we finish the whole rig. So right now, can you test? I cannot go below than 0, and I cannot go beyond than 39.7. That's all we want to limit, so that it won't penetrate the surface or go too far, stuff like that. There we go. And I'm gonna just lock these first, except for rotate X. We don't hide them yet, just in case, because we're not done the rigging yet. So when you're done rigging, you will come back to anything that locked, you will hide them, so that the user won't try to set the key and unlock them and things like that. So now we're done with this part. So once again, the other side, you do it on your own. Now, these sections, okay, basically these can be one in own unit. So everything follow this guy. These guys are parented to the body. That's all I need. Okay. So now we're gonna create a. Let's check my. Can you check on front view? I make a little mistake right here. This guy, can you see it's a little off, like really off. So I'm gonna turn on move to, move it, rotate a little bit. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. And then we're gonna phase transform because we don't want to leave them. I just make a little mistake by moving that by accident somewhere, sometime. So now we're gonna do it one. Let me save this quick. I'm gonna show you what the final would look like, but I will make you do it on your own. Here we go. So I add the camera, and this camera can be rotated by itself. I haven't finished this one, so you're gonna redesign something later on this part. Can be just one camera and rotate. I do full camera. And now this is how it works. This is the main. This is the controller. So when I move, it stretch, and these parts are spinning. My original idea, I want to attach all the IK handle to there and then let it twist the IK handle, but I did not do it. Okay, so you don't have to do it, but you could think of something if you want. So, and this is visually, it looks good without, I mean, looks better if without this. This will look not good when this part are not spin. So now what we rigging this is the same as the hatch. When you look at it, the IK handle parenting or constraint point to this part. I just use constraint. Okay. We can just parent it. So this bar moving. Oh no, sorry. I constrain to the controller. So bar individual, we don't have to constrain directly to the controller. And then these joints are just a child of these base. That's all. So it stays with the base, doesn't move. So now when I move this, everything go with it. Here we go. And then I can still do that. I can still rotate this. So that's what the final should look like. Okay. So now on today, I'm gonna just do only ones and you do the rest. Okay. So these will be a child of the body control, of the body match. Now let's create a joint system. So skeleton, joint, option, like this. Scale compensate, turn off variable bone, and then more space. First joint, and dolly in a little bit. 1, 2, 3. Doesn't have to be perfect. Press enter. Use outliner to select all of the joints there. Shift click to expand all the hierarchy. I'm going to change the radius to 0.05, make it small. Okay. And then I'm going to rename So these one I'm gonna call top camera extend, something like that. So curiosity. Make it long name this time. City, and will be a, hold on, what does it called here? Will be a cam extend join. You can add cam extend join. Let's do extend one because we have 4 of them joins. Here we go. So now you could duplicate them and then move them, but then you have to rename properly. So, but hey guys, do not duplicate join that has IK handle. You have to delete IK and then you can duplicate join because it will carry some transformation that the IK will not work correctly. So you can't duplicate join that has, you can't duplicate IK on the join. So you can duplicate only joins. So now reposition, go to top view, move, make sure you select only the root join and then move only root join. And then you're gonna assign IK handle, skeleton, IK handle, option the same, single chains solver, sticky on, and click the root join to the end join. This time we don't have to set preferred angle because it already has a big angle there. So now when we move the IK, it will go like that. So let's rename the IK handle to be appropriate. Extend 1 IK because we can have extend 2, extend 3, extend 4. So now we already know, like last time, we're gonna parent the base, extend join 1, the base one, to the base mesh of that camera, parent it to. So now if you grab the base mesh of the camera, when you move, the joint will follow the root joint. So because these guys are moving with the body, right? Can you see? You can extend like that. Okay. And you might feel like, wait a minute, if I move these down, what about those? Those will be a shot of the body at the end anyway. So, okay. But we have to kind of separate the hierarchy on the IK handle, just like what we did with the hatch. If you think about the hatch, it's just reversal. The hatch is from here to down, but the camera from down to up. That's all. It's just reversal. So now this guy, the IK handle, we should make a little cleaner. So we're gonna add the group node on top of it. So I'm gonna copy that name first. Select the IK handle, Control G, turn on move to, press D, and then you can use V key and plus middle mouse technique to snap to here. V middle mouse button, here we go. And doesn't have to be perfect. Just right around that. I have to zoom in. Well, I just said don't have to be perfect, but I tried to make it match. Okay, so press D to finish. Rename these to appropriate name, so IKTP, so that we know that IKTP, we want to preserve position. So now these will follow that shape, this shape. Well, hold on, let's do exactly like what I did. Let's create a new controller. I use the gear control, and you're gonna put it in the middle of the cylinder. So let's line them up with this cylinder, shift select, modify, align to, and try to align center all 3 axes. For now, I just click align. And then you can switch to scale 2 and select only the controller, scale it down. That's it. scale it down. And now the pivot point or the location doesn't matter. I'm gonna just move the area that easy to grab, that's all. So we're gonna call this a camera extend all CTL control. Freeze transform. Here we go. And we're gonna parent the IK group. So to be a child of this control. So now when it grab the control, these things are moved like that. Okay. So next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna parent these guys, the tube, to a controller. So now when we move the controller, oops, that tube will follow it. Here we go, like this. And also this guy will be a child of the controller. We can separate them from here, or you could actually parent it to this tube too. It's totally up to you, will work. Either way it will work. So I'm gonna just separate them, there we go, by make them as a children of the main control. So now we're gonna parent all of these bar extend to appropriate joint. So this one will be a child of the second joint because we want it to rotate at that point. Parent it. And the rest of the bar will be a child of the joint base because we want them to follow that rotation. So now when they grab the main control or the camera control, cam extend control, can you see it look like this? There we go. So you're going to do all of this by yourself on the other three. Exactly same way. So, and now, what happened when I move this though? Oops, doesn't follow. Well, it need to follow this guy down. Not really follow that. Follow the down control because down control will be dragged by the main control. So we need that because we want that thing to go with the body, like the actual geometry. So really simple. I'm gonna put this back to 0. You just select the main of the cam control, shift select the base. Just let go with the base. Okay. So now when I press P, let's push this down. Here we go. And then I can grab that to extend even in the down position. Right? And if I move, it goes with it. So it's correct now. So I'm going to put it back 0. Grab that, put 0, and select these 0. Here we go. So we're done with the hatch and the top part to extend. Now to create spinning, basically you just set driven key when you move how as tall as you want it, and then you just set that 360 degree. That's it. That's all you need. Just only with these control. Do you think, can you do it on your own? Or how about try it? And then on Monday we'll take a look at it. And if you have a difficult time, I'll show it in class. Yeah, Christian.
The camera base mesh is supposed to be
A child of this guy.
a child of the main body mesh.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
So let's take a break 5 minutes. Seems like because this is a little involved with, we got 1 hour, right? Sorry guys, let's not take a break. Let's do it. And Friday will be work day and I'll come and help. I will not check roll, okay, on Friday. And but if you need help, I'll be here inside the class. So now let's do this guy to make this go with it. This is the bar, can be a child because these are kind of static. Can be a child of the base spring, left and right. Just parent this guy to a base spring. Here we go. Same thing as the other side. Same thing. The bar, the arm bar mesh to the base mesh, the spring base mesh. Here we go. And then when I grab the main control, it should look like this when it moves. See the bar move, and there's something left out. Those are your homework. Okay. So we're gonna put it back 0. Now I'm gonna do on the left side first. Now I want this. I want to be able to control this, so that when we move into a different level of the terrain, we can animate that. So we're gonna create another controller. I'm gonna use these set color. Oh no, this curve, 90 degree, that has an R on it. And unfortunately, we cannot really use, I mean we can, but it will not work, use the align to command, because after I freeze transform, it used the whole bounding box of this guy, not using the pivot point. So it's just the way it is. So this is what you need to do. I'm going to change my pivot point of the controller to this end tip. So press D, hold V key, and then just grab and let it snap to that vertex. V. This might be a little hard. I'm going to press D and move it away for a little bit because it keeps snapping to the body. So D, here we go. I want it to be right at the end here. See that, the tip. I decide this to be like that so that we can make it a little extended outside and still have a line direction to show. So, and then now you can just snap to that center because of this is the mesh that we wanted. That's the pivot point. So we're going to snap that to the center there. You don't need to move it inside there. This will be just fine. So at this pivot point will be just fine when we rotate it. So now what about the size of the controller? Totally up to you. Just remember, easy access. That's the key. So I think this size is really appropriate to select it. When it zoom out, you know, it's not too small, not too big. So I'm going to freeze transform, always freeze it. And we're going to rename appropriate name. This is a font way, right? So we're going to call L underscore R L underscore curiosity cam, not cam. We're going to call FT font, FT bar. You can call FT wheel bar maybe, wheel bar, and CTL. Because you're going to have two control, the front and the back. The back controls these two bar, these double bar here. So duplicate that, and then you can go ahead, turn on move to and V snap to that center. Just leave it there. Doesn't have to be inside neither. This is fine. And then we're gonna rename to back BK. BK. Everything else the same except at BK replace the FT. Freeze it. You're gonna do the same with the other side later on, not now. Do it on your own. Okay. So now, after you freeze it, you need to put this bar to be a child of that control. Appropriate bar. Grab the double bar to the back side. There we go. Now test, if I grab this control, I should be able to rotate like that. Same here. There we go. Okay. Do a little by little. And now we got to make this move with the body though. Okay. So obviously we want to make this move with the body, but we do not want them to move with the down control. Right? So it's mean, if you remember, this is the main control. The main control has a body down and then spring mass. It's the same way. This guy, these two, it has to be a child of the main control and kind of sampling of the down. So when you look at it, I just shift P, press select, and look at on these control these hierarchy. Main control and the bar control are not. It's assembling all of this guy. So, but it's the main. So now I can move it. Now when I push it down, the bar should stay, because that's how we animate the sharp absorption. So now we put it back. So now we're gonna make these guys follow because we want to add another control to rotate. Now I don't know why that time I designed this to be a two-wheel drive. It could be just, oh wait, four-wheel drive. It could be just one, right? Because it will rotate anyway. So you could just use front-wheel drive or back-wheel drive. But anyway, we have two, so let's do it too. So let's create a controller because we don't want to animate this directly again. So I'm going to use this gear. Here we go, the shape. And once again, it's a little tedious. We cannot really use a align tool. It will not align properly. It will do some point. We can try. Here we go. Modify, align tool. So align that, align this, and there. And see, it's not exactly in the spot. Still have to move them anyway. So I'm going to scale it down a little bit so that you can see. So I'm going to move it. I'm going to use that point. See, under it, there's a vertex there. So just hold V key, middle mouse drag, and try to snap to that point. Because it seems like it's right on the center of that location. I'm going to rotate it down. Here we go. I wanted to make it a little big enough. Let's move it a little higher. Maybe I'm going to use front view or side view. Can you see? You can eyeballing it right here. You could be even on the top like this. Still work. Because we want the rotation plane to just only on Y plane, which is just only Y and Z and X. So like that. Now name appropriately. So let me copy that name. This time we're gonna call a front wheel bar. We're gonna call a wheel bar front. What should we call this? Front wheel bar rotate. Yes. Well, something. FT front wheel bar rotate. It's kind of a little confusing, isn't it? Here we go. Yeah. This could call main bar. Oh yeah, second bar. Well, I'm gonna just call that. So now freeze transform and duplicate it. Put it to the back side. And align is about the same. I'm gonna use side view and align it. You can do a V snap, but snap only for translate only Z axis, so that it would move to the X axis. And this one I'm gonna call BK because backside. BK. And name a little too long, but it's okay because we are not writing any script on those controllers. So this is what you need to do. This bar need to be a child of the front control, the front rotate control. Here we go. Same thing as the back side, the bar, the C bar. Oh, I should call C bar, but anyway, parented to that control. So now it's still not going to follow yet, right? To make it follow, basically you want to parent these under this guy. It could be under this bar too. So it's still going to follow because main key point is we want these to be a top hierarchy. It doesn't matter this guy is going to be a child or going to be a grandchild. It's going to work. So I'm going to just parent it to that main control. Here we go. And the reason that I do that because if I parent it to the wheel bar, it will be sub-level. So will be sub-level of this guy. Can you see? But in this way, it's easier. I just do one click. It's open. I can see two level. I don't have to double click twice or shift click. So it's just a preference. Like it's no fixed rule on this. So now when we rotate this, the C bar follow, and while rotate, we could actually rotate the C bar too. See? So now independently, and I can put this back. Now when I grab the main control, it's go with it. Let's rotate this time. It follow it. So same thing as this side. Do the same. The front one be a child of the main rotate control on the bar. Here we go. So now that's it. It should look like this. I can move. I can rotate. Move. Here we go. And once again, when you do animation, you need to set the move to object mode. So, and I can rotate this. I can go back, put 0 into it. There we go. And then grab this, put 0. There we go. And then we're going to limit all the stuff. So right now, let's lock things that we will not animate. So that kind of remind us what it is. So we rotate this way, do not rotate the other way. So we're going to highlight all except rotate Y. Locked it. Here we go. Same thing as this section, except Y rotation, lock. But leave it there for now because just in case if we need to reparenting something, we might need this to unlock. So same here, this guy gonna rotate only x-axis. So we're gonna highlight all, control click to subtract, lock. Oops. Here we go. This guy also lock. Here we go. So now we know that we don't animate anything else except rotation and so on. So I'm gonna save. Now last thing, and then I will stop the wheel. And if you don't remember the formula, you can look at on the D2L that we have, and then just change the name. That's all. So now let's do it together quick. I'm gonna record on here too. So did I? Okay, good. So we need one controller for the move. Hey guys, I was explaining to the other section that if somehow you wanted to create one move control that control all 6 wheels, you can. You absolutely can. But there will be some limitation. Any orientation to side, if you have to have it, it will be based on your point on the pivot point of your single controller. So now if you wanted to be able to do a little more subtle motion in the future, you should do all 6 separately. So you can do unity, one set, 6 wheel, rotate at the same way, not same way on itself, but when you try to orient side to side or other, will be a little different. They will be unite with one single control. But if you have multiple control, multiple move object, move control, you can do individual. So at this project, I want you to do 6 times so that you remember it. Okay. So now I'm gonna use a arrow key. Here we go. And the arrow, I'm gonna rotate down, make it flat. So minus 90, because I want it to point. Now, luckily, this one we should be able to align to the group wheel. So let's take a look. Oh, I forgot. Let me move it away so that you can see. We gotta group them first. The wheel, select the rim, and select the rim bar and the sprocket. Oh, no, here we go. There's a few objects there. And this time we're gonna just group it to itself. Control T. Let me Control T, okay. And name it. This one will be a left side front wheel. And all, how about that? GB. So you can have a FT front wheel, MD mid, BK back. Okay, so now let's align this on the front wheel. So I forgot, turn on move to change the pivot point to the center of the object. Modify center pivot. Here we go. Because the object has the same pivot point, and we'll group and average the bounding box into those multiple objects. So that's correct one. And so now you can align the move control to the group node. Modify, align to, and go ahead align them, center all 3 axes. Oh, actually only 2 axes. You don't need to align on the y axis to go up. So just down like that. That's good enough. And we don't need that big. If you align these to the top, to the center, still work though. It still work, but this will give a better visual look, because when we wanted to animate rotation, we want, the oriented the wheel to the body, we want it to happen to the base, and if we can also do the side, do the middle too, but I prefer on the base. So now we're gonna make this scale a little bit smaller. So can you do Control 1? Control 1 is undershow isolate selection. This is a shortcut for view selected. Can you see? And then you can right click, grab the CV, scale down, move it forward, Control 1 to bring that back, and then you just move it. You just want a small icon, so that you know that these are not priority of animation. And then when you go to object mode, you reselected, the pivot point going to be exactly same spot as it before. Freeze transform, rename this. We're going to call font wheel move, here is L, font wheel move, FT wheel. Hey guys, this time let's do all lowercase, because we're gonna have to put in the scripting expression. L, Q. I'm gonna put just only Q. Curiosity. Oh, let's do literal. Curiosity. It's just because we're gonna have to type all of those. That's all. And wheel move CTL. So a little long, but we're gonna have to type it long. So now we're gonna add auto. Don't forget, add auto modify, add attribute, auto, and auto will be data type as Boolean only because we want on and off. Click add. There we go. So now let's turn it on right away so that when we write the script, it's enabled right away. Okay. So now we're gonna have to create a manual control first. So we're gonna close this for a moment. Manual control, I'm gonna use the L icon again. Okay. And let me move forward a little bit. And I'm gonna change the pivot point. V key, snap to there. There we go. That's the pivot point. Then I'm gonna rotate 90 degrees this way. I absolutely need to make this a little smaller. And you're gonna put this, align it to the wheel. So I'm gonna align it to the wheel of group node. Align to, let's align them to the center. Here we go. And now I have to move it out a little bit because it does get inside there. And move. Here we go. Then I'm gonna just move like this. And then I'm gonna have to change the pivot point a little more. You might need to look at on front view and just move it until it's kind of in the middle. Here we go. So now if you're confused about what I'm doing about align, you could just go ahead and manually align it. It's work. It just takes a little time, that's all. And then I'm gonna go D key and that's it. So that will be my manual rotate. If I need to, I think it's too small. Let me scale it up a little bit more. Here we go. A little outward. Phase transformation. And if you want, you can control D, move it, control D, move it, and keep it there so that you don't have to redo it again on this side. You just leave it there, and then you're going to have to rename them later though. So now I'm going to rename a FT font wheel M manual rotate CTL. Actually, hey guys, this bar, this object manual, you can do literal. It's just because we don't write any script on here. So, okay. So now you're gonna put the wheel off group node inside that. Here we go. So now these will control the whole wheel group node. So that rotates. Okay. So manual. Now on the manual, you're gonna group it to itself. This gonna use for offset. So I'm gonna rename these. I'm gonna call. Let me call this wheel FT. Let me shrink the size. WHL wheel rotate group. And I forgot I want all lowercase because I have to write this. We have to write the script all lowercase, so that easier. We don't have to hold shift. And it looked like this really long name. I mean, if you want, you can reduce the curiosity to CUR2. So now change the pivot point. You can center pivot this time because they are not belong to anything else yet. Center pivot. Here we go. It will be center. But when we constrain though, and we have to add another group node, it would not on that. So let's do it first because save time. Control G one more time, and this time we're gonna call a this one we will not write any script. This is gonna call orient because we're gonna orient constraint to the move node. Orient group. So if you remember, because this group node we're gonna constrain, translate, and scale, right? But we cannot constrain the rotation because rotation X need to be free for calculation. So now go back to the move. We need to put a locator as a center to there because we cannot just do a constraint right on there. We need a little extra. So create a new locator, create menu, locator, and this locator will be, location will be right on the center of the wheel. So before we parent to this, let's align it first because it's easier. Let's call this, let's call a L move. Let's copy the move control, and then we're gonna, instead of control, we're gonna add locator. Here we go. A little long name, and we will align it to the orient group because we want the center to be matched so that they won't add rotate slightly offset. We want it to rotate right in there. Here we go. And phase transform, make it clean, phase it. You're gonna parent these to the move control. Parent it to move. There we go. Now, can you grab the move control and rotate it? The locator should follow it. If you scale, should scale it too. If you move, should move it. Okay. So now, time. We're gonna put the rotate group node to be constrained by translate and scale. We cannot constrain by rotation because we want rotation to be separate. Okay, so we need to do that. So select the locator under the group node. So the group node there, expand, locator. And I'm going to use outliner because we can't see the group node outside on the screen. Select the rotate group, constraint, breaking, under constraint point, offset need to be on, apply. Now, while still selected, constraint, scale, option, turn on offset. Click apply. You can close it for a moment. So now it should look like this. If you move, it follow. If you scale, it's also scale. Here we go. Oh man, hey guys, I forgot to move my pivot point right on the center there. So sorry, I'm gonna have to delete my constraint. These guys, the pivot point need to change. Need to be right in the middle on the base. Otherwise, it's going to pivot point right there when we rotate it. What about on the front? Front is good. Okay. So now I'm going to have to redo one more time. So locator first and the rotate group on the wheel. Constraint, point, offset is on. Constraint, scale, offset must be on. So now, if I scale, it should scale right at that point. Here we go. Move at that point. But rotate, you will get like this. Here we go. It's slightly moved position because the pivot point of the wheel is right there. and then the pivot point of the controller is there. So it's kind of, because when you do rotating, it's actually changed the position of, like, let's say if you rotate right on the elbow, the object will follow somehow. Because it's not, if we rotate, if the pivot point of this is right here, it will not move at all. It will just stay no movement at all. So now, the next thing is, we want orientation. So the reason that we have to create another group node on top, because we want these volumes, these orientation to be rotated, to be controlled by the move. But we still free this. So to do that, select the move node, and then as a parent, as a constrainer, and then select the orient group. Now the orange group, I forgot to change the pivot point. We got to do that first. Otherwise, it's going to cause a lot of problem because it's going to orient on somewhere else. So modify center pivot, see if it fits. It doesn't fix because it already has some constraint happening. So you need to eyeball it. I should have done that before constraint. So when you do on the other wheel, do it before you constrain, okay, so that's easier. Now, no big deal, you just have to move it. I'm gonna snap to that V for now. Make sure you change pivot point. And then I'm gonna go back to front V. Gonna move it, eyeballing it to the center. It's gonna work. And make sure that aligns kind of nicely. If it offset too much, if the wheel started to rotate offset, you just need to come to fix it again. So now, select the move control and use outliner, select the orient group, constrain orient, open up option, you must turn this on, maintain offset. Okay, so when you're ready, select the move control first, and then click on the outliner on the orient group, and go to orient constraint, and click add. And that's it, you're done. And can you see, now the orient group has a constraint on rotation X, Y, Z. But the rotate group does not have. That's why we need another hierarchy. So now when you rotate this, it will look like a wheel rotate, because the rotate group is a child of the orient group, and orient group is constrained orient by the move. So now when we move it, it still move everything, because we have this, the constraint. Okay, so now we need a distance node to calculate the circumference. So let's create, oops, I moved it by accident. So go to side view, create menu, manual tools, distance, and just pick the widest on the side. You might need to dolly in a little bit. I think that's the widest. Doesn't have to be precise, super precise. The only thing you need to do is hold shift and click on the second locator. I think this is the widest. Here we go. We'll constrain it in straight line. Now, don't need to freeze transform on the locator, but you need to move them close to the wheel, so the visual will look better when the wheel are moving. Here we go. Rename this. So I'm gonna kind of try to match with the wheel name of the move name. Let's see my move here. Okay, copy that. Call locator 1. I'm gonna leave the word locator, and I'm gonna call wheel, not move, front wheel diameter or distance. How about dist? Easier. You can call di too. And I'm gonna copy that. Second locator will be number 2. Here we go. And I think it's a good idea, guys, to change the size. Under local size, let's make it small because this one we just want it to be there for calculation. And these need to go with the wheel. If I grab the move node, can you see it doesn't go with it? It needs to go with the wheel all the time because it needs to scale with the wheel too when we scale the object, so that the calculation is correct. So what you need to do is look at on outliner. Locator 1 and 2. I want you to put it inside the wheel all group. Just put it inside that wheel all group. I mean, some of you might think that, okay, oh wait, can I explain this? If I put it inside wheel all group, I'm going to have another sub-hierarchy there. Can you see? So it means if I need to find those, if I need to adjust, I have to go another deeper. So I'm going to undo. Why don't we put this just on the main, the wheel manual rotate controller, so that we don't have to go deep inside again. It just only save time, save a little click time. So we'll be under manual rotate control. The reason that I show you the other way, because so that you know it's as long as these locator follow the wheel control, the wheel control, it can be anywhere as long as the wheel rotate group. It can even be on the wheel rotate group or even on the orientation. It can be any. So now we got that, and the distance dimension, let's name just wheel this. Okay, this. And now we're ready to write the code. Okay, to write the code, are we ready? So I'm gonna select a rotate group node. Oh wait, we haven't added the offset on the rotate group. So go to the rotate group node. I forgot. And under modify, add attribute called offset. And then change to float. Click add because we want a value. There we go. It will be in there. Now this is what we want. While we're still on the rotate group, we're gonna write the script on rotate X. So highlight the rotate X, go to edit menu and expression. This is a shortcut to find expression. And now the formal ways under window, animation editor, and expression editor. So, okay, on the expression, I'm going to dolly out. So it's rotate X there. So now we're going to put a if condition, if, put parentheses. I'm going to insert inside parentheses. We're going to have to tell Maya that, okay, double check the move control. See if auto set to 1. So we're gonna call if L or lowercase, right? That's what we were planning right here. And hey guys, you could try to duplicate the name and paste, but if you have an error, I just keep getting error when I duplicate them, but when I copy and paste. So I'm gonna type carry all city underscore ft underscore wheel. I'm looking on the move, wheel move, and what is it, ctl dot auto, double check So will be double equal. Like must check if equal to 1. So, and then we're gonna stop that command. Okay. Now we're gonna add function now. You enter the function. We have to start with a curly bracket. You put open and close and then expand them so that you don't forget to close it. And when you close it, you can add close also, so that is end. So now we're going to create a variable. Otherwise, we're going to have to write really long that the wheel rotate translate z minus offset. So we're going to add a dollar sign, and then this is a wheel 1, right? So why we put LWL01, so that we know that wheel 1, because we're going to have L1, L2, L3, and then R1, R2, R3. So these will be equal to, basically we're going to tell that, okay, this variable is the translate x divided, not divide, sorry, subtract offset. So what you need to do, you're going to put the L curiosity, basically this, ft wheel rotate gp dot translate x divide subtract offset. That will be the number that we're going to use to calculate. Okay, so L underscore curiosity, and this time I put only the WHL wheel rotate, so it must be matched gp dot translate z. This means this translate z, we want that values that driving by the move control later, and divided by offset. So same, L underscore curiosity and wheel rotate underscore gp dot and offset. Okay, offset. And then you have to stop that command. So stop the command. Now the next line though, we're gonna say that okay, now you got to look at on rotate x. So oops, underscore, not dash. That's so I'm gonna do a L, lower L, hold on, let me space more. L underscore curiosity. You can try to, I spell incorrect. Curiosity, yes.
Just letting you know that you have about 15
Wheel,
minutes.
yes, so let me go.
Also, I'm leaving early because I have a class.
You can go and then just watch the video.
Yeah.
GP. That's why I checked the attendance a little earlier today. So thank you to let me know. Rotate X. Sorry, I tried to finish this so that I don't have to do lecture again on Friday. And Friday I can be here. Okay. And equal to. Oh, you have to do a arithmetics calculation. So we're gonna use this sign. Minus equals mean we're gonna use all the values on the right side minus to the rotation, and then put it back to the values of the rotation. So now we don't have to retype all of this. We're gonna just use that a variable. So start LWL01, okay, multiply, so asterisks, multiply a, we already know that minus 360, right? If you remember, we can't do positive 360, it will reverse instead. Now you're going to divide it And I'm going to put parentheses because we're going to divide the circumference. But we need to write the formula. So the formula is this: curiosity wheel disc shape dot distance. If you remember, diameter time pi equal to a circumference. Okay. So, and this is the distance, the final distance. That variable contains the final distance. So this will be L curiosity and curiosity. FT wheel must be correct name. This, and if you remember, to get the distance node is under shape node. So capital S shape dot distance. I should have shown you that first, but I forgot, so I will show you last. So time, so multiply by 3.14, that's a pi. Okay. And then you need to stop the command, complete it. Here we go. And then now this is a function, and then the result will assign it to a offset must equal to translate Z. That's it. So L underscore curiosity wheel WHL rotate GP dot offset equal to translate Z, basically. L wheel rotate GP dot translate Z, and you need to stop the execution. And let's copy that just in case something went wrong. Click create. Now I have the wrong name somewhere. Curiosity L somewhere. Mine is on rotate. Let me look. FT wheel rotate offset. FT wheel rotate. Rotate X. Attribute not found, variable missing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just that offset. I didn't put capital on the offset, did I?
Yes, you do.
I did? Not on there. There's always off on there, but on the actual attribute it's not. Okay, let me try. I don't think it is. Yep. Sometimes it's just a name thing. Oh, hold on. Offset. Curiosity wheel rotate GP offset. Just only that part.
Usually the end of the bottom, the last command too.
This one?
It looks the same.
Yeah, it does. Why it's not found? Just only Z wheel rotate. All the wheel that has a problem. Okay, hold on. Sometimes that it's just a name typing things. Hold on, let me see. Curiosity. No. Oh no, I can't just okay. how about this? Good rotate. I'm gonna copy that. See if it helped me. See if this is gonna help me. Okay, so basically just the name. I don't know what I did. It probably when I put S and then I removed them, that was it. When I typed it wrong from the S beginning. So this is another thing that you need to consider. Don't get panicked if the code something, it's just a name, or you might have to like try to retyping or copy something, paste something, see if it works until it's work. It's just a formatting things. I don't know what it is exactly. So now it's worked. Okay. So basically I just try to copy on the actual attribute. Now, how we make this go together though? Really easy. You just parent these move control to this guy, because this is the highest hierarchy of that. So when I parent it, and now let's test. If I rotate this, it should follow. Here we go. Now, if I rotate the body, see, it moved. Move. That's all you need. So that's it for today. On Friday, I'll stay here and help you guys